Our poll shows that a frighteningly high proportion of Londoners believe that the authorities would ensure their safety, either by taking them to nuclear shelters or by evacuating them from London. Is this just wishful thinking? This is all the help Londoners would get before an attack. Protect and Survive, a 30-page booklet. The government hasn't even released it yet, but Thames Report obtained a copy. It tells you to stay put in your own home and look after yourself. Opinion Research Centre found that many Londoners would do the same. 46%, nearly half, said they'd try and leave London. But in practice, families like the Davises would probably be forced to stay put. The authorities might prevent people leaving home, for example by requisitioning petrol and closing major roads. If you had to stay put, what use would Protect and Survive be to you? The crucial thing it tells you is how to improvise an inner refuge to give your family some protection against radioactive fallout. After the fallout warning, you'd need to shelter in it for 14 days.
Well, what about this lobby outside the study? That would be big enough for us, wouldn't it?
We asked the Davis family, following the instructions in the booklet, to build an inner refuge.
Just about the right size.
Here, couldn't we?
Yes, we could block it off here.
And take out this board.
Take that out there.
Block up this door. Yes. And that door.
Yes.
Yes, do that.
We'd be able to sleep down here, wouldn't
Yeah,
we?
there's a good concrete support there, good concrete roof there. That's all right. No problems. Grab that table over there, Andrew.
This is what Londoners would be doing in the last hours before a nuclear attack. In the same period, the Swedes and the Swiss, for example, would be filing down to their well-equipped, stocked-up and guaranteed blast-proof underground shelters.
Right, now do you think that's all right?
Yes. Mum!
Yes?
Shall I take my quilt to keep me warm?
That's a good idea.
All right then.
Oh, you can come and get some now. You getting those books out?
No, I'm getting the clothes out.
Right, I'll put this door over here.
Right, I'll start getting the cases.
The booklet tells you to prop suitcases against the walls, stuffed with clothes, books, or anything that might help to absorb the radiation.
I'm taking the fire in now.
It may seem like a game to the children, but this rehearsal is a grim reminder of just how fragile our home defences would be in the event of a real nuclear attack. To have any hope of survival, this family of 4 would have to get hold of 14 days' supply of food and find containers to store 28 gallons of water, the minimum they could get by with. And they'd have to get sandbags and find time to fill them and pile them against the walls.
Right.
How long would they have for these preparations? The booklet assumes there would be a month's warning of a nuclear attack. Intelligence experts now believe that it could be a matter of days or even hours. Let's look at what government experts think would happen if a 1 megaton bomb aimed at Heathrow Airport in fact landed on Staines and exploded on the ground. Staines would be wiped out. Everything within 2 miles radius would be totally devastated, everybody killed and all buildings destroyed. Up to 5.5 miles from the bomb, there would be very heavy damage. Houses would be in ruins, streets blocked by debris. Anyone caught in the open would be dead, as well as many of those sheltering. Up to 9 miles, houses would be damaged but repairable. Anyone out in the streets would be very severely burned by the blast.
Quite the extent, again, depending upon how good the home shelter is.
At first, boroughs like Hillingdon would have to cope on their own. Central government would have broken down for months, perhaps years to come. Gradually, a new, much more localised form of government would emerge.
That area about which we can do very little.
Hillingdon would hope to find help here. Beneath an inconspicuous entrance in a secret location in West London lies one of the capital's 5 group controls. In fact, this vital headquarters is a cramped bunker left over from the last war. There isn't even enough room for the 80 people who would, in theory, administer the shattered remnants of a population of 1.5 million. They, in their turn, would hope for assistance from London's regional seat of government, never before shown on television. High on a hill in the Green Belt, we can't even name the county, this house conceals the entrance to a labyrinth of underground offices. In charge here would be a government minister with emergency powers over the survivors in the London region. He would live and work in this room. Under him, 200 civil servants would, in theory, have the ultimate responsibility for London's population. They'd be living and working underground for months until some sort of order were re-established. It's an administrative pyramid which may seem reassuring, but it's built on very shaky foundations. If the local boroughs at the base of the pyramid couldn't cope, none of the higher levels would be much help. So your chances of survival would depend on the preparations being made in your borough now. Many people at County Hall are seriously worried about the boroughs that have done much less than Hillingdon, boroughs like Lambeth, Camden and Hackney. The GLC's chairman-elect has played a leading role in London's civil defence. Are the individual London boroughs doing enough about civil defence?
Some are doing as well as it can be expected, others are doing very little, and some are being downright idle.
Now, which are those?
Well, it gives me great pleasure to tell you the Royal Borough of Kensington, Chelsea, in which I live, really doesn't show any great sense of urgency about this matter at all. Neither does Tower Hamlets, that's just to mention but 2 that I can recall. One of those didn't even bother to send a single representative member or officer to a conference which I organised here some 18 months ago.
67% of Londoners believe, wrongly, that most of us would be dead. Perhaps that's why there's been so little pressure to improve London's civil defence. Is there time now to catch up?
While nuclear weapons exist in the world today, while they're still there, somebody at some time may well use them. And I think the time is running out. The clock on the Society of Atomic Physicists has moved up towards midnight another couple of notches. And I think they're right. The time is running out. We haven't got very many years left at all. And we can't afford this 1939 mentality that, oh, well, it'll be all right on the day, because it won't be all right on the day.